Hi. I've been trying to fiddle with my hair and these headbands. I'm not doing so great. When I was just looking up the date, and that rhymed. Um, let's see. It is Tuesday, February 11th. And I must probably do a little update. Uh, I did some calling today, and I wanted to cancel those injections so that they wouldn't have too many on hand, which I'm sure they don't have too many on hand, because a lot of people need that stuff, right? Do we need it? I'm going to take my glasses off. I was just trying to see what I look like. Okay, so I talked to my cancer doctor's assistant after I talked to a few other people to get there, but we're not canceling anything until I talk to the doctor. She said, then the doctor will decide. Well, it just depends on what I hear, and I need to write down a list of questions and stuff. But I was wrong, it sounds like, and then it is my damn fault. So you people taking these, what I'm doing is taking an IV that the solution, along with calcium and vitamin D, help build up my bones. Also, not just that, I have to have 64 ounces of fluid a day. Well, I'm not real good at that. And then I read something else that was saying that something about coffee was not good. It might have been for one of these drugs that I was looking up the information, okay, because I'm on two different things. Well, actually, I'm on three different things, but two that I go in for treatments, and then one is a pill that I take every day. So anyway, I was thinking the injections were the ones that had to do with the kidney failure, okay? But it dawns on me that, so she should have gave me two different things. She gave me this deal for the injections, told me to look it up and stuff. But see, she gave me a few things, and I don't know, I might have thrown that stuff with the very small print away. And if I go back through my papers, I'll find the original papers of what I'm taking. But it turns out the one that they're worried about is the IV. She said that's usually the one. That's why because I was asking her why they take those for my kidney function and stuff like that. I don't know how to say my words, but it's, like I said, even if I can't do it, I'm trying. So she said, it's very important that I have the 64 ounces of fluid a day. And I know good and well I haven't done that. And then if because she said that's to deal with the kidney function and stuff. That's why they take those to make sure it'll tell them if I've had enough liquid or how I'm doing. But they haven't done any urine type things in their lab, because I was telling her about the blood in my urine. And I'm going, so I'm not going to be doing that if that's what it's doing. So anyway, then she tells me, because I've already talked to a few people before this, but then the nurse's assistant tells me that it's the IV. It's called Zometa. It's the IV that they worry about your kidney function. And when I was looking up this fulvestrant injection, I don't recall, unless they just didn't show it, but I don't recall seeing something about the kidney there. But I think both these drugs help your hair thin out. And so it's a matter of drinking enough fluid. But, that's what I'm going to say. Okay, you're going to say, oh, you're going to complain about one thing or another. But it's the truth. When someone tells you not to do something, or to do something, and that it's important that you do that something, it would be nice if they would carry it a step further and tell you why. What are the consequences if you don't? And then, hey, you might take a little more care. And I tend to forget things, so like I forget I got to drink this stuff. And you got the ice in there displacing the water. So it's not just a couple of these mugs. You got to figure that out too. But my ice melts pretty fast. So those of you who are doing the Zometa, that's what they kept calling it. And it's an IV solution that helps you build your bones back up. Pretty important. So I don't know if I should be stopping that, but I think the main thing, I guess, I'm going to talk to my cancer doctor, and I'm going to have a bunch of questions written down. And she's going to get tired of me because I'm always asking questions. But if I can have them written down, then maybe it'll be a lot faster, a lot easier. But so I was trying to cancel the injections for Thursday. So I got to do some more investigating. So I'm just trying to do what would you call that? When someone prints something and then they have to retract their statement, something like that. Okay, because I don't know the total truth. I just know that they're keeping track of my kidney function. So I was asking more questions today. I went to the lab and had my blood drawn, so I was talking to the lab, asking them, what are you drawing and what for? What does it tell them? Stuff like that. So the one I did today, she's got a standing order for me for blood work. So I go in one time and get a full panel. And then I go in the second time, so every 4 weeks, you go in. And so right before my appointment with the cancer doctor, I have to have blood work done so they can see if it's okay to give me treatments. So far they've said it was okay, but I don't know. The doctor wasn't there last time. Hopefully everybody else is wise enough not to do that. But I haven't been wise. I'm sure I haven't been wise. And then it was probably looking up these 2 drugs that was saying something about what not to drink or eat with this medicine. Coffee. What have I been doing? Drinking coffee. Thinking it was good for the cancer. I wasn't thinking about it not being good for the drug. I think that's what I read. So, you guys just be careful out there. I'm not careful near enough. And it's scary. Scary. I just need to get it together and take care of myself. But it is true. I mean, I believe that it is true that we can fight a lot of things with food, the greens, and then not eating the sweets and taking your medicine. Because I haven't been real great at that either. But I've been pouring coffee down me with that coffee creamer in it. That's all I've had, because I guess I was also reading that too. These drugs will affect your appetite. So it's not just only the cancer that will help you lose weight, but the drugs too. Probably didn't say that very good, help you lose weight. You don't want to lose weight unless you really want to lose weight a little bit, but you don't want to keep losing weight. Like the Slim Fast helps me not be hungry, which helps me not be nauseated. Because that's when I say sick because I'm hungry, that's what I mean. Nauseated. You don't want to be like that. So anyway, we're going to keep our heads high. We are going to try to find a solution. And I should have been more forthright as far as like these pains I've been feeling. I have talked to him about it though. It's just I don't think we're pulling it together, like as the information together. But I know I haven't been drinking enough water. And it's not just water. They just want 64 ounces of fluid a day, at the least. And it doesn't have to be water. They don't care. But they need to care a little bit. You know, I don't think they realize. Because one lady was telling me, she says, I don't care what you drink, sports drinks, whatever. You know, but see, sports drinks, I'm thinking they're full of sugar. Maybe I'm wrong. It's full of something, though. Yeah, there's electrolytes and then there's flavorings, and I do not know what it is that messes with me, but the energy drinks for some reason mess with me, but it might be caffeine. Maybe there's caffeine in it. I have an adverse reaction with caffeine. A lot of times it just puts me to sleep, though. It doesn't wake me up. But I'm talking about between the sugars and just how things affect my system, and I don't know how to explain it. It's not all that important, I guess. I just wanted to let you guys know that I don't know what I'm talking about. And see, when the girl gave me that information and she dug it out of the trash, she had just put it in there. But she is also the one who hooks up the IV. So the IV solution is hooked up by the same one that does my shots. Now, sometimes they'll have one on either side. Two different people doing a shot in my butt. They're supposed to do it slow. You want to make sure it's warm. Some of them got it on the ball. Some of them get a little irritated with you if you mess with them. But, you know, it's like I read where one lady said she did not have any bad ill effects with the injections until, the first 2 times were fine. Third time she said they were cold. She had all kinds of side effects. So I learned from that they need to be warm. So I ask them. You know, because I've been to 3 different places now, and some of them will just bring them to you and have you put them like in your elbow or whatever, so you're warming them up. Or they have also brought me a heated blanket. You know how they'll bring a heated blanket and put on you when you're in the hospital sometimes. When I've had scans and different things, I don't know. Some reason they did. um, but anyway, everybody's different. Every place is different. This one's a pretty nice place. As far as what they have done so far. And my daughter knew to ask for something to do with, a care package for the cancer people. So that worked out pretty good, really. And they brought me a Valentine's gift today. So that's pretty nice. And the other day they came. I told you guys about that, I'm sure. If I didn't, shame on me. But they came and they brought me $200 in gift cards to go grocery shopping at Walmart. I told them that's where I really would rather go because groceries are so expensive at these other shops, these other grocery stores, Now, if I could go to Winco, that's cheaper, but I don't know where Winco is. And Walmart is right over there by where I'm going to the cancer doctor and stuff, so that's convenient. But not only did they bring $200 in gift cards, they brought a care package. And that package consisted of 4 or 5, probably 5 grocery bags with different things that you need in the house, I know I remember counting it off, telling you about it. Like toothpaste, toothbrushes, cups. And they were doing it for the 3 people in the house. So they brought 3 of these, they're paper, so I don't know if you use them twice or not. But they were really nice cups with sleeves and a lid on it. and then they had stuff inside, like hot chocolate or something like that. Hot chocolate and a tea. I'm going to have to go look at those. I need to drink tea. But you got to be careful. I mean, that's what they were saying on what I was reading today. Coffee and tea. No, not with this medication. Now, which medication, I don't remember. I was looking up the injections, so it was probably that. Because I don't even know the name. I know I keep saying it's Zometa. I'm not sure if it's just what they call it or if it's the name. So I need to look up that too. But she said, oh no, she said the Zometa is the one that we're watching for the kidney function because of not having enough liquid, not putting enough liquid through you. You know, so they told me I needed 64 ounces of fluid, but they didn't tell me what the repercussions would be if I didn't do it. I just think there's a lot of reasons, you know, like the 10 Commandments. They tell you don't do this and don't do that and don't do this and don't do that. And then you realize later in life, you realize that they're really trying to help you out because you don't want to murder. You don't want to cheat and lie, steal. And you don't want to spread your body around, people. It's serious business, man. I wonder how bad venereal disease is out there right now. The way sex is going on. It's like from way long time ago times 40. I mean, venereal disease was rampant. And if you don't take care of the venereal disease, it screws with your reproductive system. What else does it do? So like say you have syphilis and you don't take care of it. And then I think, you know, after a while, maybe the symptoms go away, but you still have it. And I think it's doing stuff to you and it'll come out later in life. And I don't know what those are. You know, I don't know if it's something that drives you crazy in your head or what it does. That would be an interesting thing to look up, wouldn't it? And I'm telling you, I can only imagine that it is pretty rampant out there. And I cannot believe the things I'm seeing on my Facebook feed. I would be really, I just don't understand why it's there and why it's okay. I have all these women in these teeny, tiny bikinis or underwear, lingerie, from a photo shoot. And I know what they're doing is luring the men in and acting like, you know, they're getting the men all excited, acting like, you know, I'll be your friend. Is what it looks like. But I'm so disappointed. I mean, they're sexy looking, all right. And guess who's one of the big ones? Jennifer Lopez. And so now they said, okay, we're not getting enough action off of her. We'll put all these young things in there too. I do think Jennifer looks better, but the point is, it shouldn't be there. It should not be on the news feed. And especially for your children to see. Maybe it's not. Maybe they've targeted me. I don't know why. But I feel bad for you people. You've done and lost it. All you people out there making money off your bodies. It's not a good idea. It's not a good thing. And you are going to pay for it. Meaning you're going to turn into a cold person. And you're not going to enjoy sex. You've taken something so precious and turned it around into something else. And pretty soon, after a while, you don't get off. It's kind of like when you're smoking pot and you smoke too much pot. And you do it all the time. And you do it from the time you get out of bed until you go to bed at night. And in between, if you wake up, I'm just saying, there comes a time when you've smoked too much and you don't get high anymore. And the same thing I imagine is true about the sex. You know, I can remember smoking and smoking and smoking and not getting high. It's crazy. At that point, you know, especially if you have no money, then, you know, a little bit of money doesn't buy very much when you don't get high. I'm telling you, people, you better stop what you're doing. I know you're not going to. It's just the way it is. But it's a real sad thing. I know what I'm talking about. So far, I didn't go out and sell my body on TV. Not just TV, magazines, wherever anybody will pay to look at you. You know what I'm saying, people? I know. No, I'm not perfect. Not perfect whatsoever. But I do. I feel bad for these people, and even though they look all pretty and sharp, kind of disgusting. Parading your everything out there for people to see when it should be for just your guy. You won't know what I mean. Maybe down the road a piece you might know what I mean. Beauty is beauty is beauty. Enjoy it while you got it. But I've heard him say, if you got it, flaunt it. Well, I disagree, people. But I've heard it. Heard it and heard it. People just don't understand. I need to get my book out and go over my papers. I keep wanting to quote myself. And there was a time when I could do that, but I haven't read my papers in so long. It's been a year and a half since I started my channel, and I read them in the first part of that. So now I've got over 900 videos, and only 20 of them are my papers. And then even when they're my papers, it doesn't take up the whole video because I do a bunch of talking. Oh, my back hurts. So I'm flying off the handle is probably what I've done. I'm scared. And I just know what I've been told by that woman that worked at the place where she hooked me up. But see, when I say she hooked me up, she did my IV. And then she did my shot. And someone else probably did a shot. So this is the injections. This is for the shots. If you want to look it up. There's another name it goes by too, but I'm not sure what that is. You know, they've got their generic name and their other name. So I don't feel better that it's my fault. But at least I've talked to the assistant of my cancer doctor and told her about the blood in the urine and this and that and the other thing, that I wanted to get off of the injections. And then she was telling me, she said it's the Zometa that is causing that problem. So, you'll see, I don't know that I have to. I was going to say, I don't know that I want to stop that because it's helping to build up my bones. And so I'm really not going to know until they do my next PET scan. And I remember the first time I saw her, which was 2 times ago, she said that, I see you in February. And then I think she might be going to talk about having a PET scan. I don't know if it's too soon or not. I just keep doing everything wrong. So, people, if you have cancer, you don't want sugar. And so, believe it or not, we're all here having our lovely coffee, and we're pouring in the creamer, and the creamer's loaded with sugar. I mean, it tastes so damn good. Like poison. Anyway, I quit. I mean, after I got my results, after I talked to my primary care doctor, I quit the coffee right away. Because my blood sugar, I guess, the A1C is 11. I don't know if there were any points to it, or she just said 11. And she was pretty well freaking out. But when I first found out I had diabetes, my A1C was 16. So yeah, well, that's pretty bad. So 11 don't sound so bad. But I did have it down to a 6.6. That was right after I'd had my surgery and stuff. I mean, when they took that tumor out, a lot of things, everything went back to normal. So I quit taking everything. I was taking my metformin and I was getting sick because it was lowering my blood sugar and it didn't need to be lowered. But I wasn't taking my blood sugar. That's just what I figured, because when I quit taking the metformin, the sickness went away. But I was definitely not feeling well. So, I don't know. I'm supposed to be taking glipizide right now. Some of you know what that medication is. And I mentioned it before. She had called me with all these decisions to make, and I just couldn't do it. But now I'm wondering, I don't always make good decisions. Like, Jardiance, I think is the name of it. She wanted me to take that. Well, that's a real expensive drug, too. And I'm going, what happens when that one doesn't work? And what happens if they decide they won't cover it because it's too expensive? So I haven't really tried to get it to see if it was covered. But it might be. It might be that I can get it. But what happens? I'm just saying, if all of a sudden your insurance goes away or something, and there you are needing it and you can't afford $500 to $600 a month. That's what freaks me out. The glipizide is very little. In fact, it has a 0 copay, I'm pretty sure. So that's the one I chose. Although that's, when I read about the side effects of glipizide, they didn't have it show right up until you pushed it up, like where you would find delete. You push the thing up, and then down below is something. And what was it? Weight gain. And I told her I didn't want anything that was going to cause weight gain. Although I was the one telling her I wanted glipizide. But she had went and looked at the side effects, and she didn't see the weight gain. It's because it was hidden. It was hidden. So anyway, I have big decisions to make. But I do think she's going to want me to go ahead and get a PET scan before we make that decision. What I heard anyway from the last one was that they could see healing. They could see, that was when I was over at Nancy's, okay? But they could see healing. The bones were healing. And before, what they're worried about and why I'm taking this Zometa is because they said they could melt that cancer away. But when they did, my bones would collapse on themselves. So, I'm saying there are reasons, there are things I've got to think about. And then you got to wonder, So I should have been doing what they told me to do, drinking plenty of fluids, and I know I haven't. And then I don't eat well, but I do eat better than I was. Meaning when I say eat better, I'm talking about fruits and vegetables. Now, fruits, that's sugar, but that's a natural sugar coming from the fruit. So I kind of think you can dismiss that a little bit. But it might be better if I ate the fruit. And I did that yesterday. I put my berries in a bowl, and I put some strawberries in a bowl too. But then I was a bad girl. See, I let them thaw out, which you need to do. And like I said, the strawberries aren't very sweet. So I ate the blueberries. And when I got done with the blueberries, then I went down and I put some sugar on my strawberries. So, but it's not on everything else. It's just on the strawberries. And I do advocate that, people. They're saying that the strawberries themselves do not put a high glycemic load on yourselves, and that's high blood sugar. But it's like with the smoothie, it blends it all up. And so it goes right into your bloodstream. So that doesn't help. Eating them is better. So maybe that's what I'll have to do instead of having smoothies. So far I did go into the Dollar Tree today, and they had my almond milk. My almond milk. And what they have is they have a sweetened and an unsweetened. So far I made a mistake. What I used to do was I would take the unsweetened and use that for most of it, and then I would take the sweetened, which is still almond milk, and I would just add about a quarter across my blender thing. I know I'm not saying my words very well, but nevertheless, a small amount of the sweetened to go with the unsweetened. But today I bought 2 sweetened and only 1 unsweetened. But at least I found them there. So they're $1.25 still at the Dollar Tree. And I think that the container is probably still the same size. But, you know, it can be quite a bit expensive at the grocery store. So there are certain things it's much better to buy at the Dollar Tree still. And then the Dollar Tree will have unique items, which I haven't taken the time to do that. I mean, that would be something fun to do, just to go walk the aisles to see what they've got over in their crafting section and their stationery and their decorations and stuff. They just are wonderful. The Dollar Tree is wonderful. I picked up something today and stuck it in my cart, and then thank goodness I saw it. Not that it's a great, big, huge deal for some of you, but I would have been pissed because I thought I was paying $1.25 and it was like $3.75. And what it was something that I don't necessarily even like, but I do. Something about 8 grain, and it's strawberries inside, you know, and it's a bar. But no, I said, let's take that right out of there. I know you guys think I'm silly, but it is true. This has been my mindset forever, is that, you know, I want to stretch my buck. I want to get as much as I can out of my buck. And it's a mindset that's going to be hard to deal with. I got a feeling I'm going to have a problem with that. Meaning, if you find that you do have money, I'm still not going to want to be spending it willy-nilly. Oh, I don't know. Some of you guys might know what I mean. It's like some people just want to spend money, and that would just drive me crazy. And I think I know a couple that's like that. Some people just want to spend money to spend money because maybe they had to worry about money when they were younger and they don't now. I've just always liked to save money, I guess. I loved garage selling. I loved antiquing. Now, antiques can be expensive, but antiquing in a secondhand store where you find great things, unexpected things. I love that. And it's like history. And the thing about secondhand stores is everything in there has been owned by somebody. Someone thought enough of it to own it. Understand? I understand. Because it is. It's like going through a museum, going through a place that's got history, just like a pawn shop is too. I'd enjoy that too. And the pawn shops, boy, they make a haul on their jewelry. What I mean is, people come in there hard up and are selling their jewelry. And they probably get it for really good prices. But then they charge a good price for it too. Not as much as a jewelry store. Me and Joe, we got our rings at a pawn shop where he used to live. His mom still lived there. So there was a pawn shop. And what would happen there is there was a jeweler who worked for himself, and he was a Mormon, but he worked for himself, and he would go there and go through their jewelry and buy it from them. And he knew what he was doing. You know, he knew how to tell clarity. He had his little thing. But he also made his own jewelry. So he was going for the stones as well as the gold. A lot of places are just buying the gold if you were looking to sell jewelry. I did a dumb thing. I took all the diamonds out of my tennis bracelet. I had a tennis bracelet. But they weren't the best of quality of diamonds. And they were small diamonds too, because they were in a tennis bracelet. But what was my point of telling you that? Oh, I took all the diamonds out because they were just going to throw them away. Or just give them away to the jeweler for $1. And so I went back, after thinking about it, I went back and paid the $1 a jewel, but I wished I wouldn't have. I should have just let them keep them because, you know, I tried to sell them once and they're not worth anything. Unless you were making something. But they're just mediocre diamonds. They're not anything groovy. But anyway, the point was, I have a set of wedding rings, and I had lost, this is a great story. I wasn't going to tell that. I lost my diamond. We had moved into that property, and we were basically camping, and we were in the dog trailer. We called it a dog trailer. In the very back of that dog trailer, we had a bedroom. And then in the middle of the dog trailer, we had a couple of chairs and stuff. I mean, we basically lived there with the dogs. So what is my point? Oh, I lost my diamond. And I just couldn't believe it. And so then, and see, the thing about, I was starting to tell you the story about the jeweler with the pawn shop. We got there and found a matching set that was something he would have bought. And if he would have been there before us, I wouldn't have it. It's too little for me now. I thought about wearing it just because. Anyway, my diamond had clarity. I mean, it was an expensive diamond, or it was worth something. And this dog trailer, basically we had torn it apart on the inside.